Yo, it's Guido coming at you with the Tactics Talk. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. And we got an interesting one here. This happened on my stream. And initially, I was going to ignore it. It's not a particularly good battle on my part, but I got a love letter afterwards, and it was an interesting situation. I thought we would take a look at it because there's a couple good lessons learned right here about being honest with your own performance, which I didn't have a very good one, but more about perception of what happened in a battle, throwing salt out there, and being able to take a look at it and honestly and objectively figure out what actually happened. So when you come out of a battle and you're angry and you thought somebody did X, Y, or Z and you fire off a love letter at them, make sure that what you're saying is actually what happened, which requires you to do a little bit of introspective assessment of what happened and maybe stepping back from it for a moment and looking at it again, which is why going through your replays is actually an effective means to learn how to get better at the game and to figure out what actually happened. A lot of times on my stream, I'll come out of a battle and I say I should have done X, Y, or Z, or somebody did X, Y, or Z. And that's kind of a snap judgment of what I saw, but often our memories of what happened, the time dilation in that battle, are incorrect. And we can even just look at the results page and go, oh, that Tiger 2 I was talking about having a terrible game and screwing everything over actually was top damage and seemed to be doing pretty well. Well, maybe that top damage was worthless damage. Now where do I have to go? Well, I've got to go to the replay and look at it and say, all right, what happened here? It would be really great if I could take everyone's replay, take a look at all of them, and then you can get a good idea of what everybody did and how it affected the other people on the team. But often we can't do that, so you've got to rely on your own replay. So when I got the love letter, I kind of laughed it off. We talked about it a little bit on the stream, and I went on, but I kept the replay and the love letter, which I'll show you towards the end, because I wanted to take a look at it and go, okay, well, maybe he has a valid criticism of what I did. Let's see if there's anything to be learned from that. So here we are in Al Haluf. We'll get going. We've spawned into the southwest, and initially you can see that I'm headed over this way. I'm going to go into that little notch and take a look. This thing has terrible view range, so this is not really a great move. So initially, not great positioning on my part. However, you might be saying, well, Guido, you should have gone down to H8 and go down there and start spotting, right? Start spotting for people. And I did think about that, but let's take a look at the setup, and I'll tell you why I did not. Batchat 12T, the EBR 105, the Leopard PTA, the E50. All tanks I sort of expected may go down into that pit. Several TDs as well. And I may not even get past that opening right there into the backside before one or two or more of those come down and take me out. So I'm going to be a little more cautious and come up here. Actually, initially I'm screwing off a little bit, and that's bad on me, but I was talking on the stream and I thought I could jump up on there, but there's an invisible wall. So I'm going to take a look and go, all right, am I going to catch anybody out? Well, probably not, because I'm so fast I got there well before anybody else would down there, and more than likely they're not going to come far enough across the valley for me to even see. So I remember talking on the stream saying, you know what, I need to head over here and see if I can't help figure out if there's anybody coming this way. So what do we have? We have 3 artillery. We have one of the artillery is the Conqueror GC, and he is platooned up with a TVP 5051, who is actually over here camping and probably expecting me to go down there and either die or get spots for him. And this ends up being kind of the crux of the problem. You see that their EBR 105 has zinged all the way down and up, and that is something that these tanks can do. No other tank can get that far that fast without being seen. He actually snuck by the TVP 5051. Now, had I been down there, I might have been able to get a spot on that guy, but I might have also been able to get pretty dead. So now we've got the EBR 105, and that's the situation that we're presented with. And I said, well, okay, let me head back up here and see if we can't get some shots on this guy. Spinning around, and we'll come back up to here. And this is where the artillery player takes exception to what I'm doing. There we go. Good job to our scout for hard effing us. Okay, fair enough. I did not actually see that comment in game. I was too busy playing the game, but we'll come around the corner here. And we got to figure a way to peel this 105, EBR 105 out of it. So I'll put a shot on him. Unfortunately, I only get 138 out of it. We'll come on out of here, and I'm trying to avoid running into the artillery's buddy, and the 5051 reacts. So now I'm thinking, okay, the two of us, we're going to have to deal with this guy if we can. I'm looking for maybe an HE shot there, but I don't get it. And I figure, well, we're going to have to go down to the bottom here and try to get him from another angle because he's going to keep lighting this poor Emil-2, and that dude's going to die. The only place I can really go is down here. With 1,000 hit points on him, I do not want to cross across and let him have shots. I notice the bat chat's up top. So I'm going to be a little bit more careful. And a lot of this initial positioning is just about me trying to be a little more careful. The elevation on these things' gun is terrible, like most French tanks. So I'm having a really hard time getting a spot where I can get a shot, and I actually get lit by the dude. So he takes a little bit of hit points here in a minute. The 50-51 comes down below, tries to take him out. I make a bad shot here. Unfortunately, I miss him, and he gets munched by the 4005. Got 510 on that EBR. I'm going to sneak up behind. I'll finally get a decent shot in there, get 326, and I'm thinking, all right, this is handled. We should be able to deal with this guy now, right? So, what else is going on? Well, we lost the 50-51. The Emil died, but we've also lost 2 other tanks over in the scrum in the northwest. So we're down 4-0. 2 on our side, 2 on the other side. So we're essentially losing on each flank. All right, and we do have a 184 hit point EBR 105. I've got a pretty good HE round, and I'm thinking, all right, this will work. I should be able to move across. After I've waited to go dark, I spotted the 4005, so he is there. We'll light or auto aim him, and doggone it, I get 130. He blaps me back for 594, which is exactly why I didn't go down initially to a place where I figured the EBR 105 would be. I'm not going to win that fight. And if he brings a friend, I'm certainly not going to win that fight. And I don't trust other people on my team to come down with me, which they didn't, right? The 50-51 could have easily gone down there and done the same thing, but he's not going to. He's going to be up top, and he's going to snipe and let other people do it. Now, I do that a lot of times. A lot of times I will go to those forward positions. It's the way I play the game in general, but sometimes I don't because I assess the situation isn't the right one for it. But we're down 5-0, and in retrospect, well, maybe I should have gone there. Maybe I could have handled the 105 or at least kept him off of the Emil. The idea, though, that because I went down there, we're losing, and it's my fault is a bit silly, though, or at least if you consider it's only Guido's fault. And I realize this video is kind of self-serving, and absolutely, but I think there's a larger lesson to be learned here about paying attention to what really happened in the game and assessing it correctly. So the EBR 105 is there. I'm thinking I'm going to get him if he backs up. And what I don't notice is, hello, Batchat 25T, comes around, rams me, and nukes me, and I'm basically dead. It's all over. Well, the artillery is yelling at the guys up on the corner. He's been typing the whole time, telling everybody they're doing it wrong. I'm dead, and we end up losing this. We're down 1-6 pretty quickly here. As I watch this whole thing going on, there he goes, Mr. Batchat with a kill cam. I'm talking to my stream at this point saying, yeah, that wasn't too great, not a great game. I lost SA on the Batchat, didn't realize he was going to come around the corner, and the EBR ends up winning. And we are down 7-1. We lose this pretty much wholesale. So after the battle, I get this note. And remember, when I came out initially, I didn't really realize we were down 7-1 somewhere else. I mean, when I died, I looked up and said, well, we're losing on every front. It wouldn't have mattered if I won over here or not. We basically lost all of our good tanks on the other side as well, other than right now the T-95 FE, but they're getting munched and surrounded. So more than likely, no matter what I did over here, wasn't going to save the game. So the note that comes back is, you single-handedly lost us that game, single-handedly. Our entire east flank, all right, well, not really an east flank, south flank-ish or southeast, but okay. East flank died because the enemy EBR killed all our arty. And I'm looking at this going, the game is over right now. Never mind the EBR got up there and killed the arty. Because it simply doesn't matter who gets up and kills the arty at this point in the game. Any more protection of the arty wasn't going to save this game. Got him, killed all our arty, and got into our base in 42 seconds, which obviously did not happen. He did get up the ramp in about 42 seconds, and we started dealing with him, but no arty died until much, much later. And that gets into my point about assessing the battle and being honest, and taking a look at it afterwards and saying, you know, that what he said really didn't happen, okay? I played my part in the loss, just like his 50-51 buddy played his part in the loss. But coming out with a note and saying, hey, dude, you single-handedly lost the battle, and then looking at this battle, that's just simply not true. That's not really what happened at all. And the reason I'm talking about it here is because it goes to the heart of what I try to do on the channel here, which is have an honest assessment of gameplay and say when things really were your fault and when things maybe weren't. Now, I talk about how you always internalize everything. It's all your fault. Take it all on board, figure out how you could do better, and march on. And that's what we're talking about right here. But in order to do that, you have to look at the battle objectively and analyze it correctly. So if you come out of all your battles like this guy, who's actually a really good player, by the way, and start flinging around the accusations on who was bad here and there without taking the time to look at it and objectively say, well, all right, Guido, I really wish you would have gone down there, because I think that 50-51 could have helped you, and maybe he'd have come down if you got into a scrum, and I didn't like your initial positioning, but hey, you know what, you're right. Take a look at the whole battle here. We were in trouble no matter what you did. Then I would go, you know what, dude, you're right. I probably should have gone down there initially. But blasting off and saying you single-handedly lost it shows a complete lack of understanding of what really happened. And any learning past that is invalid. Because then the lesson learned is you're a SHITER and you lost it. And then we can just close the book and say, yep, Guido lost it. I'm good. Let's go. Let's go have a beer. Know what I mean? So I know I'm sort of getting deep into this. It's a pixel game, noted. You know, I should have leaped off the top of that cliff up there and landed on my wheels and shot people as I went and screamed yeehaw. You know, I do that sometimes as well. But at the same time, if you're really looking to get better at the game, then at the very least, be honest about what happened. And maybe open up a replay before you send off a love letter and look at it and go, okay, yeah, I still don't like what he did, but it's not really his complete fault. All right, that's my whole rationalization about how that's not my fault. So I hope that worked, because it's making me feel better. Again, this is not really about me. It'd be better if it wasn't me and I was talking about this, because then it's always looking self-serving. But I think the point is still valid. If you're looking to learn, be honest about what you're learning, about what happened, and then you can learn the right lessons. And if you're blaming other people, you're probably already on the wrong lesson. All right, that's all I got, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you.